Let us pray. Almighty God, who in your wisdom and goodness have appointed the officers and leaders and council assemblies for the welfare of society and the just government of the people, we beseech you to behold with your abundant favor as your servants, whom you've been pleased to call to the performance of important trust in this republic. Let your blessings descend upon us here assembled, and grant that we treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our country and of those whose interests you've committed to our charge. Amen. Clerk, approach the chair. Clerk.
Thank you.
So, Mr. Clerk, kindly take us through the order of the day.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. County Assembly, Second Assembly, Fourth Session, Thursday, 26 November 2020. Order number 1, prayers.
Next order.
Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Honorable members and the governor, welcome to today's assembly, which is the second assembly, fourth session. I want to confirm to you that this session today was gazetted through Gazette Notice number 9745 of the 20th, and is a session number 395 in our fourth session. And today's sitting is as a result of a request for communication from the governor, and the only business that we shall transact is the head of the county address by His Excellency, the Governor, Professor Peter Nyang. As such is provided in our standing order number 21 and 2. And honorable members, I want you to refer to standing order number 22.3 and note that we shall not comment or question in the governor's speech, but thereafter, after adhering to standing order number 22.4, that is after the paper has been laid and notice given, we shall organize to discuss the said speech in the next 3 sittings. I want to appeal to the members at the gallery that this place is gazetted as an assembly, and therefore the rules of the assembly shall apply. I want to request that you put your phones on silent mode or off, if possible. Minimize movement as much as possible. Anytime you want assistance, please, we have our sergeant at arms and the ushers who shall accord you assistance as appropriate. On the same note, it should be noted that we are having COVID-19 upsurge in the whole country, Kisumu included. And that is the reason why we have restricted our sitting. So I want to request you that where you are seated, do not move your seats. And ensure that your mask is on, covering your mouth and your nose. COVID-19 is real. And please, the MOH protocols which are given, one of them being wearing mask, is the first tool. So please, your nose and mouth should be covered. Social distance. Do not move the chairs. And if you move around, ensure that you sanitize or wash your hands, because I know there are so many spots for washing hands around. I want to make my third communication that I attended a BBI signature collection launch yesterday. And I want to communicate to the honorable members, the public in the gallery, that they are the coordinators who shall be communicating henceforth the way forward on how the signatures shall be collected. By the meantime, there is an application that has been made so that you are able to endorse BBI digitally. You can go to your Google and you go to www.bbisignatures.org. And then you can sign there as we wait for the way forward from the coordinators. My fourth communication is to the members, honorable members. I have been requested by the whip, senior member, Honorable Priska Misachi, that you see her on attempt to facilitate the by-election in Kisumu North, which is scheduled for 15th of December 2020. So see her for the facilitation on that area. Lastly, let me take this opportunity to recognize our guests who are here with us. It is the Governor's Day. On my left is the Governor of Bungoma. The Governor will have time to introduce him. But among us, Your Excellency, my wife is here. Linda Knight is seated somewhere. Maybe she can wave. And amongst us, we have Joseph Rotich, Deputy Regional Commissioner. He's seated somewhere. He's waving on the left, on my left side. We have got Charles Wandera, Deputy Regional Intelligence Coordinator, seated somewhere, I think, on my left. We have Beverly Lungaso, in charge Kibos Prison. I'm sure she's seated somewhere on the left. We have Anson Lolmodoni, County Police Commander, Kisumu. Amongst us, we have Archbishop Dr. Washington Ogonyongede, of Power of Jesus around the world. We've got Sheikh Musa Ismail Haj, Harun Wandalo, Reverend Titus Anthony, ACK, Haji Hassan Hussein. We have got MCS from Bungoma County. But before that, we have a number of executive members from Bungoma County. Renson Maketi, CEC, Environment, Water, and Natural Resources. We have got Cyril Wayongo, County Attorney. He's seated in the gallery back there. Isaac Mukenya, Deputy County Secretary. We have a number of MCS who are accompanying the governor from Bungoma. Florence Fulano, Maini Ward. We have got Honorable Simiu Honorable Sumiu of Siboti Ward. We have Honorable Joram Wanjala, Bukembe East. We have Honorable Anthony of Bukembe West. If I didn't maybe call your name, you are welcome. This is an assembly. As the governor will be making speech, please, you can use your feet. If he says something that makes you happy, you don't need to clap, you don't need to laugh, but you can use your feet. We'll be silent, and I hope we'll have maximum cooperation. Next order.
Order number 3, State of the County Address by the Governor of Kisumu County, Professor Peter Nyang'nyong.
Your Excellency the Governor, I invite you to make the State of the County Address because this is your day, and recognize the guests that have not recognized.
The Speaker of the County Assembly of Kisumu, Honorable Elisha Jakoraro, the Governor of Bungoma, my friend, His Excellency Wycliffe Wangamati, honorable members of this County Assembly, the Deputy Governor of Kisumu, Dr. Matthew Ochieng Willie, members of the judiciary who are here tonight, this morning, the national government officials in attendance, county executive committee members, as well as the county executive committee members of Bungoma herein present, the county secretary, members of the public service board, members of the city board, distinguished guests herein present, and invited guests. Ladies and gentlemen, and of course the First Lady of Kisumu County, without forgetting. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, ladies and gentlemen, we congregate in this august house to reflect on what we have achieved in the last 1 year and cumulatively over the 3 years of my administration. Having addressed this august house every year in like manner during my first 2 years as governor. This third state of the county address, Speaker, sir, comes at a time that we are living under very unique circumstances, occasioned by the ravaging effects of the despicable coronavirus pandemic. This is even manifest in the number of people that we are able to join this event in person due to the need to observe the prevailing health protocols. We might not be physically communed as we might have wanted, but technology has expanded our horizons, and I'm sure our communications team have ensured that large sections of our public are to share in this moment virtually through technology. Mr. Speaker, sir, allow me to break parliamentary traditions by requesting that we all be upstanding and observe a minute of silence in respect of lives lost to this disease here at home and nationally and around the world, and respect of those frontline health workers who have also lost their lives. May the Almighty rest their souls in eternal peace. Mr. Speaker, sir, I'd like us to particularly remember our health workers and their families, the frontline soldiers in this war, and those people struggling with the disease at various stages. I'm certain that despite the challenges posed by the pandemic, we shall, as humanity, overcome in the end. Mr. Speaker, sir, despite this pandemic having literally robbed us of almost half the financial year under review, I am happy to report that we have continued to make progress in our development, guided by the 10-point agenda of my manifesto. Mr. Speaker, sir, let me once again appreciate the House for debating and adopting my manifesto as one of our key measurable development tools. As an administration, we have remained true to its implementation and delivery to improve the lives of our people and offer them hope for the future, as indeed was enshrined in our county integrated development. The manifesto points to our vision, which is a peaceful and prosperous county where all citizens enjoy high-quality life and a sense of belonging. Prosperity and high quality of life are intrinsically tied to sustainable security and delivery of quality health care, among other basic human needs. During the year under review, 2019-2020, the Department of Agriculture, Livestock, Fisheries and Irrigation purchased and distributed cassava cuttings, local vegetables and maize seedlings, as well as provision of agrochemicals for control of all armyworms and other pests. This came with the distribution of 350 bags of canned fertilizers and 325 bags of urea fertilizers for top dressing of maize and rice crops across the county. COVID-19 has ravaged our domestic economy in the county in a profound manner, rendering many families vulnerable without jobs and sources of food. The department will be playing a major role in our post-COVID-19 economic recovery program. As you may be aware, Mr. Speaker, sir, I am the chairperson of the Committee of the Council of Governors, COG, that developed the post-COVID-19 economic and social engineering recovery strategy for counties. With my two colleagues, Governor Erito Murithi of Laikipia and Professor Kivuta Kibwana of Makueni. We did this with technical assistance from the Kenya Institute for Public Policy Research and Analysis and our secretariat at the COG. We finished our work in good time, and this report, Mr. Speaker, sir, will be launched by His Excellency next Monday, 13th of November 2020, at the G47 Watuzi compound, Limani, Nairobi. For us in Kisumu County, the recovery strategy emphasizes the importance of the household economy in sustainable production of food at times of crisis when markets fail to deliver on essential supplies. That is why, Mr. Speaker, sir, our COVID-19 Emergency Response Committee is supporting the Department of Agriculture to promote food production and the household level. Could I ask the orderlies, please, to stop walking around? I'm talking to the audience, please. Sir. Could you please, you can distribute those things later from my speech. Can you stop it? Can you sit down now, sir? Please, I'm talking to you. Just sit down, stop this. You can do it later. This effort has seen distribution of rice seeds, fruit seedlings, vegetable seeds, cereal seeds, maize, beans, and green gram, and cowpea, irrigation equipment, and one-day-old chicken, all valued at shillings 13 million, benefit over 10,000 smallholder farmers in the county. We shall continue to expand this recovery program in the coming year. The May 2020 Kenya National Bureau of Statistics COVID-19 survey found that 30.8% of the households in Kisumu County had instances where the household or a member of the household could not access the markets or grocery stores to purchase food items. Further, with the restrictions affecting seamless movement of food commodities, 54% of households in Kisumu County indicating experiencing an increase in food prices. Many family breadwinners also lost their jobs. Socioeconomic recovery program needs therefore to begin where it hurts most, and that is food production. If there is one thing that the pandemic has taught us, it is that we have to go back to building household economies. Our household economies survived and thrived on the small farms in our backyards, growing fast, maturing, environment-resilient crops that ensured we produce food for home or local consumption. As we focus on developing the smallholder household food production, we must not lose focus on building our commercial agriculture, which will over time shape our industrial revolution. In this regard, we continue to build our irrigation infrastructure, reduce our over-reliance on rain-fed agriculture. To boost our rice production, we distributed hybrid seeds and fertilizer to 1,200 farmers in rice-growing areas of Ombei in Moroni sub-county. I also want to thank the national government through the State Department of Crops Development and Agriculture Research for supporting our recovery efforts by giving us 20.8 metric tons of certified rice seeds valued at 4,800,000 shillings to plant 2,600 acres of rice. The development and expansion of irrigation infrastructure has seen the completion of phase 1 of construction of weirs and irrigation canals in both Nyamthoe and Mboha valleys, which will be home to production of horticultural products for local consumption and beyond. I urge the Department of Agriculture to increasingly look into and promote the growing of the more nutritious traditional vegetables and fruits, such as amarantha and the likes of sugar, dek, mito, apoth, and so on. Cotton is increasingly shaping up as one of the major cash crops grown in this county, which is an important source of income as it was in the days gone by. The expansion of textile production nationally coupled with favorable international treaties like the USA's Africa Growth and Opportunity Act, AGOA, has expanded market demand for cotton, which has translated to increased farmer interest. In order to satisfy this ever-growing demand and to support the growing industrial growth in this sector, we have partnered with the national government to supply 12 metric tons of conventional variety, 0.38 metric tons of hybrid non-bacillus thuringiensis, BT, and 0.14 metric tons of hybrid BT cotton seeds to more than 1,500 small-scale farmers with 1,300 acres put under the crop. In addition, Mr. Speaker, sir, the farmers have also been taken through training on cotton production. Mr. Speaker, sir, I would like to extend an invitation to the Lake Region Economic Bloc governors through our chairman, Wycliffe Ombasa Aparanya, to attend a workshop we shall soon organize in Kisumu on expanding cotton growing in the Lake Region Development Area. Honorable members, at the outset of my administration, we carried out a careful study of the prevailing climate conditions in our sub-counties and how each could contribute to our food security agenda. This subsequently informed our specific investment in the various agricultural and agro-processes in those places. It has been a slow process, Mr. Speaker, sir, but we have seen this strategy achieves the desired results. The growth recorded in the livestock subsector is a true testament that indeed the strategy works. Currently, the county has an estimated 20,000 dairy cattle, 202,235 zebu cattle, 2,900 dairy goats, 154,800 meat goats, 196,000 hair sheep, 447,000 broilers, 40,000 dual-purpose chicken, Kenbro, rainbow rooster, 2,767,700 indigenous chicken, 4,450 hives of bees in the county. During the year under review, Mr. Speaker, sir, the enterprises produced an estimate of 33 million liters of milk, 3,000 metric tons of beef, 353 metric tons of mutton, 452 metric tons of chevron, goat meat, 2,970 metric tons of chicken meat, 52 million eggs, 45,750 kilograms of honey. In that period, Mr. Speaker, sir, we distributed 7,000 chickens to youth and youth groups and women in various sub-counties. This is in line with supporting the economic development of the special interest groups and making agriculture and agro-processing a young people's affair or career. Mr. Speaker, sir, I'm happy to report that this development has touched lives with real heartwarming outcomes. Evans Ochieng Gichuru, a resident of Kadongo Village, Kisian, in Kisumu West Sub-County, is a beneficiary of this project. Evans dropped out of his studies at Maseno University, where he was taking special needs education. Today, with the proceeds from his poultry project, he has saved enough to resume his studies and is making enough money to support his education going forward. I want to thank him for finding time from his busy schedule to join us here today. I hope Evans is here. Oh, there he is, that young man over there. Not only is he committed to his farm and studies, he's also a patriot who makes time for public functions like today. Thank you. Let me break parliamentary protocol by asking Evans, as he has stand there, Mr. Speaker, and he has been acknowledged. I hope you accept that breach of protocol. Members of PASU CDO, a youth group from Kwaloleni Estate, Market Milimani Ward in Kisumu Central, are also beneficiaries of the project. They received 1,000 chicken, a chicken house, and chicken feed to start them up. They have sold their third batch of birds, and in the words of Mr. Elijah Odek, their coordinator, and I quote him, "We have attained financial breakthrough and now command respect and dignity in the community." Mr. Speaker, sir, to further satisfy the growing demands of the dairy value chain subsector, in collaboration with the European Union, we are constructing the Dairy Multiplication Center in Nyangore, Chemelil, Tamu Ward, Moroni Sub-County. Once completed, Mr. Speaker, sir, and I hope that the Department of Agriculture will speed up the completion of this project, the project will enable farmers access affordable quality dairy breeds that are suited to our climatic conditions. With it, our farmers will be able to receive services such as artificial insemination, bulking, and milk collection, as we intend to establish a collection center and marketing for farmers' milk. We do this, Mr. Speaker, sir, because this region was once known for milk production. When I was growing up, my own village was a milk-producing village, and the then colonial government made a movie, which I remember seeing in the field of Rata, called Jokarabolo Terocha Kisumu. Mr. Speaker, sir, bulking and milk collection is very important as a value chain in the dairy industry. So, Mr. Speaker, sir, I would like at this point in time to pause and allow the showing a documentary to be played, and then I proceed. Demonstrate exactly what we are doing with permission of the Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Waneno pogruok e ndara niendi.
Ka unaondesha pikipiki uko na amani.
Adago erokamano ne gavana marwa kuom miyowa chiro majaber.
Kisumu's infrastructure reflects its status. Mobility within Kisumu has enabled participation in social and economic life and improved standards of living. Transport infrastructure is therefore a public good, and its importance in Kisumu is particularly evident where it hardly existed before.
Ndara ni gamo kado, ne ko kado nen kaka chudo kata gari no kadi. Sani ndara ni kadore e Yombe ward ma yo Kiliti ma gweng Junction Kombok wagoni erokamano.
Kata michele ka wapuro to michele nok nyal kalo, ji kane kadho to ne kadho gi sida, maiti ne ka ji nyalo dhi kocha chande to ok ne nyal dhi. Waneno pogruok e ndara niendi. Waneno pogruok e ndara niendi.
Ka unaondesha pikipiki uko na amani.
Adago erokamano ne gavana marwa kuom miyowa chiro.
Waneno pogruok e ndara niendi.
and adaptation of new water policies and laws, as well as establishment of regulatory authorities in Kisumu County, has contributed largely to giving access to everyone.
Chien kanyo kane pok ne wayudo project pi mane okelni, wasebedo gi chandruok. Minewa gi nyiminewa kata gi mondewa ma wan godo e udi, wasebedo gi problem mar pi. Nikech kata aora kuma waome pi, ka koth olal, to wabedo gi problem maduong' nikech kaka wayud pi onge. Koro kane gavana marwa Nyong' osekelo pi kamae, to wagone erokamano maduong'.
The recently completed Esuvalu water project in Maseno has improved supply system. Water kiosks in Kisumu offer an important interim solution for supplying the underprivileged population with access to piped water. Not every household within Kisumu County has that. For the time being, hence, the viable solution is to public taps and water kiosks that are operated by utility companies. This has increased the population now accessing drinking water. In the past, water supply was insufficient and people were forced to buy contaminated water from informal water vendors at high prices.
In August, the work started. And by December, the water got completed, and you can see it was installed. And we are pumping it through the solar, and also there's a backup for electricity. We have a tank for capacity of 42,000 liters. And that capacity is also helping the community. Time management has been increased because we used to games time, students used to go to draw water, but now they are not doing the water. They are getting by just next to class.
This intake here is to aid the farmers who have gone long for over 3 years without doing rice farming. The rice grown right now will compensate the 3 years that they've gone without doing the rice.
Unajua kama wale wanauza kama ni matunda, nauza mboga, inahitaji maji. Sasa hii maji tumeshukuru zaidi kwa kuletwa hapa, inatusaidia.
Kisumu County government has therefore prioritized the expansion of urban supply system to informal settlements. The Department of Agriculture, Irrigation, Livestock and Fisheries has made strides to improve food security. The department has distributed a total of 454 in-calf dairy cows in the last 1 year, as well as poultry birds across the county. This was in response to the rapid increasing demand for dairy production. The donations made to farmers was intended to maximize
food security. We also do what is called nutrition security to the farmers, such that we teach farmers new technologies. We have also improved our old kitchen garden. We have adopted some new technologies that we want farmers to also undertake and produce a lot of highly nutritious food.
Pushing excellence in health services at JTRH have been digitized and modernized to meet the current needs.
From here, I'm able to tell if there's a congestion in outpatient. And if there's congestion in outpatient now, that will inform now the numbers. If we have extra resources in terms of human resource.
Completion of a neurosurgery center is fast approaching, while construction of a radiotherapy center is ongoing. The hospital has also set up a 28-capacity state-of-the-art funeral parlor that will see to it that even in death, residents are dignified. The hospital has also invested in an oxygen plant which has saved lives, especially in the COVID-19 inflicted times. The JTRH COVID Center has continued to receive patients. Kisumu County has...
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that interlude. Now we go back to order. Our fisheries development has continued to record upward growth. The hyacinth menace controlled in Lake Victoria, our fishermen harvested 2,000 metric tons of fish valued at 320 million Kenya shillings, whereas the annual fish production from aquaculture stood at 43 tons valued at 9 million shillings. Mr. Speaker, sir, I am happy to report that on 12th October 2020, alongside other governors in Nyeri, we signed a memorandum of understanding for an ambitious agriculture fisheries development program funded by the World Bank aimed at boosting the fisheries sector, where Kisumu was picked as one of the 15 beneficiary counties. Already, 10 fisheries extension officers across the 7 sub-counties in Kisumu have been trained on aquaculture farmer field school methodology. Mr. Speaker, sir, honorable members, the success of agricultural development hinges on extension services. We have been working towards increasing the numbers and capacity of our extension officers to competently respond to the needs of the growing number of farmers across the county. Due to the emerging challenges of management of county wage bill and now the COVID-19 containment measures, we have resorted to technology to reach the farmers in real time of extension support. We have partnered with the United States Agency for International Development, USAID, to establish a toll-free farmers call center to allow farmers to receive virtual extension services, advisory services, and market information. This platform gives the farmers access to important information by calling a helpline hosted by county government at no cost. The call center is manned by 4 technical officers from the county government with expertise in crops, livestock production, veterinary services, and fisheries, who respond to questions from farmers, providing them with the required information and support. They offer instant solutions and sometimes refer the farmers to extension officers in their respective regions. Mr. Speaker, sir, a people rich in healthy food spends less time in Medicare. That is our long-term goal. However, we have continued to commit substantial investments in our healthcare programs so as to ensure that our people enjoy healthy living in a conducive, humane environment, as enshrined in my manifesto with a very encouraging outcome. Our healthcare provision is structured under service delivery system that focus on provision of promotive, preventive, curative, rehabilitative. Hello? Through various studies and experiences, we have come to the full realization that provision of sustainable health services lies in strengthening preventive health interventions at the village level. It is for this reason that we are moving forward with implementation of our community health services strategy. The strategy's main goal is to increase community access to healthcare so as to improve community productivity, reduce poverty, child and maternal deaths. Investment in the community strategy has yielded 276 community units, of which 274 are fully functional, with a total of 3,100 community health workers. All these community health workers have since been drafted into the payroll as bona fide health workers, receiving their stipends and also enlisted to medical cover under the NHIF Super Cover Scheme. The service is designed for each community unit to be attached to a link facility in order for the community health workers to seek technical guidance and from trained health professionals, and also refer their community members to the health facility for ailments that cannot be managed at home. And I dare add, Mr. Speaker, sir, that in the debate we have this week with the Minister for Health, when we renew terms with the Cuban doctors, this time the family medicine specialists from Cuba should find us prepared with structures at the grassroots level to receive them, because family health programs can only act if level 1, 2, and 3 are geared towards family medicine. For the success of this referral system, 3 critical investments had to be made. 1, reducing the distance covered by those seeking health services by building more health facilities at grassroots. 2, equipping the facilities with necessary equipment and human resources. And 3, putting in place a functional ambulatory service. In an effort to improve service delivery, Mr. Speaker, sir, during the period under review, by addressing the distance covered by patients, the county government invested in the construction of health centers and dispensaries. The maternity wards at Kombewa Hospital, Kisumu County Hospital, and Lumumba Hospital were completed, equipped, and operationalized. The operationalization of Kombewa and Muroni maternity theaters have reduced emergency referrals to Kisumu County Hospital and Jaramogi Oginga Odinga Teaching and Referral Hospital, leaving them to focus on more specialized medical services, Mr. Speaker, sir. The quality of healthcare provided with the aforementioned investments depend on the quality of health personnel that offer the services. My government has continued to actively engage with healthcare workers within the county to help improve their capacity and skills as well as addressing their welfare. During this 2019-2020 financial year, we sent 19 healthcare workers, including doctors, for specialized training in areas such as surgery, pediatrics, internal medicine, and oncology. Additionally, we employed 250 healthcare workers across various cadres to support the existing workforce and improve access and quality of care towards the UHC pilot phase. In the same period, Mr. Speaker, sir, we effected promotion of all eligible healthcare workers to the correct job groups as per the signed comprehensive bargaining agreement CBA had demanded. The investment in our health human resource thus far has seen our doctor population ratio and the nurse population ratio grow to 1 to 44,000 and 1 to 2,000 against the recommended WHO standards of 1 to 1,000 and 3 to 1,000 respectively. In other words, we are still a long way to go to satisfy WHO requirements of the number of doctors and nurses we have in our healthcare delivery system. The numbers are not very impressive, but we are steadily and surely covering the ground. To further strengthen our referral system and realizing that ambulatory service is a key component in a strong working referral system, and to ensure that patients in need of emergency health services get the required services at minimum time, my administration has established a well-managed Kisumu County Ambulatory and Emergency Services. Currently, there are a total of 20 ambulances distributed across the sub-counties and major facilities. Of these, 8 were purchased in the ended financial year 2019-2020. 10 of these ambulances, Mr. Speaker, sir, are fully equipped with ICU equipment such as oxygen supply, ECG machine, spinal boards, transport ventilators, suction units, and nebulizers that can support an emergency situation for 8 hours. During this COVID period, these ambulances have become extremely invaluable to our healthcare delivery system. We are at an advanced stage, Mr. Speaker, sir, of putting together a centrally managed fleet system for improved ease of access. My Department of Health and Sanitation is also working on a referral strategy called Sumu County Referral Strategy, which will enhance the utilization of our forms of referrals, including specialist referrals, sample referral, reverse referrals, and telemedicine. Mr. Speaker, sir, the investments and experiences enumerated above are geared towards ensuring that our people, by right, have access to health services without suffering financial hardship, leading to eradication of extreme poverty and achieving social equity and shared prosperity as envisaged under the Universal Health Coverage Agenda. The UHC pilot project, Mr. Speaker, sir, has just come to a close, brought with it many lessons. It identified certain issues that we must deal with as the national government rolls out the second phase nationally. Health financing emerged as one of the key issues with a very close bearing on the successful implementation of this noble idea. To this end, my administration, being fully aware that there are members of our population who, for one reason or the other, are not able to pay for their premiums under any insurance scheme to allow them access to quality health care, embarked on a journey to ensure that nobody gets disenfranchised along the way. We came up in the Speaker's with a policy of to cushion the vulnerable segment of the society by taking care of all their health needs through a health insurance scheme known as Marwa, or Marwa, whatever you like. If you write English, you say Marwa. Jaluo say Marwa. Marwa Kisumu Solidarity Health Insurance. Through the scheme, a total of 90,000 vulnerable households across the country will be able to access quality, affordable health care. Already the first batch of 45,000 vulnerable households are being recruited into the scheme. The remaining 45,000 will be enlisted next quarter. The scheme is, as Speaker, being implemented in partnership with NHIF and Farm Access will ensure that the most deserving population have access to quality and affordable health care at all levels of healthcare delivery, especially in the public sector. The beneficiaries will access both inpatient and outpatient care under the NHIF Super Cover benefit package at 45 public health facilities spread across the 7 sub-counties. Mr. Speaker, this referral system that we are strengthening will only be meaningful with a referral facility at the apex that offers very specialized consultant medical intervention. This informs our drive to continue with the modernization and expansion works we have been carrying out at the Jaramogi Oginga Odinga Teaching and Referral Hospital, otherwise called Russia Hospital. The modernization and expansion of Jaramogi Oginga Odinga Referral Teaching Hospital is a 5-year project with phase 1 meant to improve and expand the infrastructure for emergency medical and surgical response, strengthening clinical governance, and identifying and investing in strategies to address neglected but high health burden diseases and conditions in Kisumu County and the region. Phase 2, Mr. Speaker, consists of expanding the overall bed capacity in the hospital from the current 530 to 880, a 70% expansion. Surgical division expands from the current 100 to 300, which is a 200% growth, to accommodate surgical subspecialties of plastic surgery and burns, head and neck, neurosurgery, dental and maxillofacial and ENT, while reorganizing orthopedics, general surgery, dialysis, and introducing a high dependency. This will reduce congestion and improve surgical output and outcomes. All our investments, Mr. Speaker, must have measurable output. So far, we have started seeing the results of the work we have put in at GeoTRH, where quality of service is reflected in the average hospitalization days that have considerably come down from 6.3 days in 2016 to 6.1 days in 2020. We still have a long way to go, Mr. Speaker, to get the proportion we need in terms of inpatient care in our referral facility. Kisumu Neurosurgery Project is an ambitious project meant to address the increasing demand for neurology and neurosurgical health in Kisumu County and the region. The project further aims at addressing the human resource gap by training neurosurgeons through the collegiate system at the GeoTH in collaboration with partnerships that we have cultivated in that field across the world. To support the initiative, Mr. Speaker, we are putting up an 80-bed neurosurgical inpatient facility equipped with modern facility and equipment. The county has also acquired a surgical microscope that would now make it possible to access hidden parts of the brain. The development is expected to be completed by April 2021 and shall impact on service throughout and facilitate research. Mr. Speaker, As had been reported, and as I have said before, cancer remains one of the leading causes of morbidity and mortality worldwide, with approximately 14 million new cases reported annually. Globally, every 1 in 6 deaths is due to cancer. In Kenya alone, an estimated 40,000 new cancer cases and 28,000 cancer deaths occur each year. This makes it the third leading cause of mortality and accounting for 7% of all annual deaths. Despite 60% of cancer patients requiring radiotherapy management, there is only one public hospital, no, there are two now, public hospitals offering radiotherapy management in Kenya. That is Kenyatta National Hospital and Kenyatta University Referral Hospital at Kenyatta University, Referral and Teaching Hospital. This has continued to cause a major strain on patients in need of this form of management. Kisumu County and the region at large, and indeed as the rest of the country, bears the biggest burden of cancer due to lack of awareness, misdiagnosis, late presentation to hospital, and high cost of treatment. Mr. Speaker, sir, our preventive healthcare system needs a lot of investment and improvement to reduce the cost of curative care, particularly in cancer, in our county, not to mention the whole of Kenya. In response to this gap, we made a strategic decision to build Kisumu Comprehensive Cancer Care Center. This specialized state-of-the-art cancer hospital, first of its kind in Nyanza and Western region, will enable us to comfortably offer comprehensive oncology services covering radiotherapy, chemotherapy, and palliative care to cancer patients across the region. Indeed, Mr. Speaker, sir, construction of the center has since commenced, having received approvals from regulatory agencies, including from Kenya Nuclear Energy Authority. Mr. Speaker, sir, we expect to have phase 1 of the center operational by June next year, with a full radiotherapy unit working in collaboration with our partner who is going to supply us with linear accelerators in Nairobi, of course, at our cost, over a period of time. Mr. Speaker, sir, despite the high prevalence of sickle cells in the region, where between 17 and 21 out of 100 newborn babies present sickle cell traits, it is disturbing that its management has never been mainstreamed in the present healthcare system. To address this high prevalence of sickle cells among newborns in the region, we started the Kisumu Sickle Cells Initiative at the Jaramogi Oginga Odinga Teaching Referral Hospital, and I'm grateful to Dr. Charles Otieno of the University of California, Los Angeles, and Acres of Hope, who have partnered with us and mobilized these colleagues to put up this sickle cell center at Jaramogi, which is already capable of detecting sickle cell in newborn babies before they are 7 weeks old. Through this initiative, Mr. Speaker, sir, we shall mainstream sickle cell management in healthcare provision and screen every single newborn baby delivered in Kisumu before they are 7 weeks old, to make sure that sickle cell is treated at early infancy. Mr. Speaker, sir, the COVID-19 pandemic underscored the need for oxygen supply in our health facilities. It is heart-wrenching to keep encountering loss of life due to lack of these commodities. Through the ongoing modernization of Jaramogi Oginga Odinga Teaching and Referral Hospital, there are 2 oxygen generating plants with a combined capacity of 305 liters per minute and a 6-ton liquid oxygen tank. This translates to an installed capacity of 13 million liters of oxygen. However, this still falls short of the demand estimated at 24 million liters, which are sold during the COVID-19 pandemic. We have resolved, therefore, Mr. Speaker, sir, that we are going to look into, and we have already started, investing in more oxygen production at both Jaramogi Oginga Odinga Teaching and Referral Hospital and our county referral facility. I'm happy to note that the expanded oxygen supply was so timely as it has been of great help in COVID-19 response. We have also recorded a marked reduction in pneumonia fatalities, an indicator of the impact of these investments. Mr. Speaker, sir, the Jaramogi Oginga Odinga Teaching and Referral Hospital has become a facility of choice for schools of medicine in neighboring universities. The hospital is partnering with Maseno University, Uzima University, and College of Surgeons for Eastern, Central, and Southern Africa, COSEXCA. A total of 115 doctors have graduated through the collaboration, where there are 12 doctors currently undertaking a 5-year surgical fellowship collegiate training through the COSEXCA program. It is important, Mr. Speaker, sir, to note that it is amongst a few privileged hospitals accredited to train doctors at postgraduate level. But, Mr. Speaker, sir, more needs to be done to expand the training capacity and facilities at Jaramogi. This hospital also trains nurses in the specialized area of nephrology and anesthesia medicine. In 2019, 20 nurses graduated with higher national diploma in nephrology. The second lot is set to graduate in November 2020. And I'm happy to say that the CEO of Jaramogi assured me that Kabianga University is actually sending its nurses for courses at Jaramogi. Mr. Speaker, sir, it should be noted that this hospital is still the referral hospital of choice for counties across the region. In order to mobilize resources that will ensure continued quality service delivery and perform its collaborative work with institutions for learning while also engaging in medical research work, it is our aim to elevate this hospital to a county parastatal facility. We have initiated the process and will be coming back to the Assembly to consider this proposal. Mr. Speaker, sir, the high budgeted demands of health care provision is directly linked to the environment we live in and the standard of sanitation that we maintain. This informs my government's resolve to ensure that all the residents of Kisumu have access to clean, potable water by the year 2022. Through the Department of Water and our water service providers, we have been able to move this vision to 65% of the county's household. We remain committed to their mandate of developing new water infrastructure, rehabilitation of existing water supplies, and capacity building for members of water management committees for sustainable management of the projects, not forgetting the development of policies for efficient and effective water service provision. In the financial year 2019-2020, Mr. Speaker, sir, we prioritize a total of 80 water projects, 10 in Nyakach, 4 in Kisumu East, 10 in Kisumu West, 18 in Seme, Moroni 16 in Moroni, 21 in Nyando, and 1 in Kisumu Central. We also completed major flagship projects in the water sector, including the God-Nyithindo water project in Moroni sub-county, which involved drilling and equipping of a borehole with submersible pump and pumping the water to 40,000 liters of steel in a steel tank. This project is changing the lives of about 1,000 residents of God-Nyithindo village. We envision that the project will serve additional villages of Bao, Kandege, and Tonde once the second phase is completed. Mr. Speaker, sir, the other major flagship project is the Esivalu water project, which is the main water supply of Maseno town. The project is now serving adequately Ongadi, Nyawita, and Esivalu villages, Seno University and High School, and the environs with an approximated population of 10,000 persons. For a long time now, Mr. Speaker, Wasiangoro has been known for its share of water shortage. This is now history following the construction of Pala Angoro water supply project to supply Angoro from Angoro Primary School and Pala Village. This borehole has saved the residents from relying on water from unprotected sources, such as rivers and water ponds, as over 240 households are able to draw safe water from the project. Other life-changing projects, Mr. Speaker, sir, that were concluded in this period include Simbagero Water Project in Seme Sub-County, serving over 300 households in the villages of Simbagero, Kamolo A, and Konjula A in East Seme, and the Nyakach Water Supply Project at Sigoti. The Sigoti project, implemented in partnership with Living Water International, is expected to increase serviced households by 2,000, covering Lower Nyakach, serving 5 sublocations of Rarieda Kukech, Lisana, Kandaria, Ramogi, and Kabodo East sublocations of Central and North Nyakach wards once fully operationalized. Through partnerships and collaboration, we have also been able to upscale water provision and supply by embarking on projects such as Youth Bear Community Water Project, supported by Safe Water and AIDS Project, SWAP, in Kisumu West Sub-County, Nyaheram Kendwa Water Project in Gay Village in North Kisumu Ward, supported by Kiwash, which is serving about 2,400 households. Tondumiriu Right Bank Water Project, supported by Kiwash in West Nyakach Ward, and Ochat Water Supply and Sanitation Project, supported by Living Water in Central State. Mr. Speaker, sir, the subject of global warming is probably the most talked about in the world, save for the COVID-19 pandemic. This phenomenon has picked up pace due to rapid industrialization in some countries amidst population growth, especially in developing countries like ours. Environmental conservation must now take center stage for us to save our planet. As an administration, we remain committed to this end. This calls for serious afforestation to improve our tree cover, careful and measured abstraction of natural resources, as well as protection of riparian areas. Under the Environmental and Natural Resources Management and Climate Change subsector, we established 3 tree nurseries in the period under review, Mr. Speaker, sir. The 150 tree seedlings production center at Menara Tree Nursery was a flagship project for the subsector. Most of the seedlings raised are currently ready for planting in the current short rain season. Other tree nurseries were established at Karanda Primary School in Ahero town with 30,000 tree seedlings, and ASK Mabuleo Showground with 6,000 bamboo seedlings. These bamboo trees, Mr. Speaker, sir, will be used in the rehabilitation of riverbanks for rivers, Kibos, and other rivers in Kisumu East, Kisumu Central, and Kisumu West sub-counties. As part of the journey towards improving our tree cover, Mr. Speaker, sir, we have initiated the process of gazettement of Kuguta, Karateng, Nyagito, Kajulu, and Koru hills as protected water towers. Honorable members, we continue to formulate sustainable strategy for solid waste management. 3 waste transfer stations have been established in Nyando, Moroni, and Kisumu West sub-counties for waste segregation at source and to help create employment opportunities for entrepreneurs in this sector. These will be linked to our waste energy facility in Achuodo, Kasese. We concluded acquisition of the 85-acre land and currently in the process of preparing the infrastructure for waste management, including construction of sorting sheds. Let me take this opportunity, Mr. Speaker, sir, to assure our people from Kasese that my government will never create another Kachok in this country. The era of dumping sites is gone. What we are doing, Mr. Speaker, sir, in Kasese is the creation of an industry that will turn waste into gainful resources, creating hundreds of jobs. And we already made a public call for expression of interest to establish the facility jointly with the private sector, and that process is ongoing. Mr. Speaker, sir, our education system, like across the globe, has taken a serious beating from the effects of the coronavirus pandemic. Our institutions of learning have been closed since March 2020 to contain the spread of the virus and protect our learners and teachers alike. The Ministry of Education has since commenced the gradual reopening as we move towards full reopening of schools by January 2021. The infections rate being experienced in this run-up to the full reopening are not encouraging, Mr. Speaker. However, the world is full of hope for the future following news released that vaccines with very high efficacy rates have been found and might be in the market soon, if not within 6 months. That notwithstanding, Mr. Speaker, I'm very encouraged with our achievements in the areas of early childhood education and vocational training services and centers. We continue, Mr. Speaker, to invest in the development of various aspects of these two critical functions in different fronts, such as infrastructural development for improved delivery of services, equipment supply, feeding programs, provision of teaching and learning materials, teacher recruitment, monitoring and capacity building, collaboration and sanitation as result areas. To ensure continued access to quality education by our children, we supplied 24,459 textbooks and 130,820 exercise books, worth 25 million shillings. And we maintained the school feeding program by supplying 3,996 bags of rice and 1,350 units of 10-liter jerrycans of cooking oil. Over the same period, Mr. Speaker, we constructed 49 new classrooms in all the 35 wards, with an additional 34 ECD classrooms under construction. ECD centers in 8 wards, Market Milimani, Central Seme, Kondele, Railway, Migosi, Masoko Nyangoma, Umbei, and Southwest Nyakach, were furnished with custom-made tables and chairs for the comfort of children, as well as purchase of outdoor equipment for ECD centers in 3 wards, Kondele, Manyata, and Nyalenda B, to enhance skills and talent development. Mr. Speaker, all the 733 ECD teachers in our service were praised and promoted. They were graded in a new scheme of service that recognizes their educational development. Going forward, Mr. Speaker, we plan to recruit 70 early childhood teachers and 20 instructors to improve the quality of learning in both ECD and vocational training centers. We constituted an inaugural boards of management in Nyangoma, Chua, Koru, and Ubange VTCs as per the TVET Act to improve their management. Additional boards of management are also being constituted for Kochogo and Withur VTCs in Nyamdo sub-county, Yanja and Obolos VTCs in Kisumu East and Kandaria VTC in Nyakach sub-county. To support student enrollment, Mr. Speaker, and retention, the VTCs received 17 million shillings from the county government and an additional 41,673,298,000 from the national government as student capitation for tuition. With this allocation, 595 students, 17 from every ward, received 21,428 shillings each in tuition grants. Mr. Speaker, in order to improve service delivered through ICT, which is a base enabler across all sectors, we established an operational data center, a geographical information system, GIS, a document management system, and adopted e-revenue platform for better revenue collection in our county. We have also partnered with the ICT authority in Nairobi and trained youths on digital skills. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, the Directorate of Human Capacity Development continues to focus on building capacity within the county workforce to ensure result-oriented staff that can realize quality service delivery. Again, in relation to our youth, the Directorate of Youth, Women and Persons with Disability is committed to empowering the vulnerable groups as demonstrated by the establishment of the Youth and Women Fund. County governments have employed a total of 124 PWDs within various departments and awarded business amounting to 53 million to some 43 companies led by persons with disabilities. Mr. Speaker, pre-COVID outbreak, the hotel industry in Kisumu was experiencing an average of bed capacity occupancy of 85%, from 25% in 2016-2017. This can be directly attributed to astute promotion of the county as an attractive meetings, incentives, conferences, exhibitions, and tourist destination. This growth has translated to exponential growth in hospitality business with a spiral effect to the Lake Region economic growth. Mr. Speaker, sir, there is a saying that when Kisumu grows, the region grows. The excitement generated in this sector arising from a very strategic policy implementation resulted in the county hosting for the first time in November 2019 the annual general meeting of Kenya Association of Tour Operators, testament to the confidence the county enjoys among our tour operators. Mr. Speaker, sir, we are not only leveraging Kisumu as a meetings, incentives, conference, exhibition destination, but also as a sporting destination. Kisumu is known as the true home of talent development, both in sports and performing arts, as you can see, evidence in the development of this social center. To help nurture and develop these talents, we continue to invest in sports infrastructure across the county. Mr. Speaker, sir, our cultural landscape received a big shot in the arm by a momentous pronouncement at the UNESCO meeting in Bogota, Colombia, in December 2019. The Intangible Heritage Committee described four practices on UNESCO's list of intangible cultural heritage in need of urgent safeguarding. Alongside the other three inscribed elements from Mauritius, Botswana, and Philippines, our own Kitmikai Shrine was identified as unique heritage site with a significant representation of an African cultural legacy and inscribed as a custodian of the Luo cultural rituals. With this inscription, Kitmikai became the fourth item in Kenya listed by UNESCO and raises its profile worldwide, thus serving to attract tourism development and will attract potential public and financial support for its conservation, while at the same time producing dividends to the 200,000 community members residing around the site. As part of the development of the shrine, in accordance to the inscription requirements, construction of Kitmikai Community Resource Center is ongoing and will be equipped with modern resource center equipment upon completion. Through the Department of Tourism and Culture, we also operationalize Katito and Kanyakwar community centers by equipping them with ICT equipment and furniture. Mr. Speaker, sir, again in November 2019, the county hosted the 17th edition of Cinema de Mer Film Festival Africa Chapter. The first time this event was hosted in the continent. The week-long film event brought young filmmakers from all over the world, offering our young filmmakers an opportunity to network with their peers from across the globe. Mr. Speaker, sir, as I was speaking to the Minister for Culture, Sports and Youth, Madam Achelai, I told her it was high time we had some sites especially known for filmmaking in our county, since we have such fantastic scenes in this county. My administration is focused on catalyzing all the gains enumerated here as drivers to creating a thriving business and trade environment, establishing corporate societies and creating an enabling environment for the expansion of micro and small enterprises, even in the film industry. In the year under review, the government constructed 9 market sheds at Koru in Moroni sub-county, Oboch in Nyalenda B, in Kisumu Central sub-county, Sigoti, Kodonga, Apoko, Omonyole, Kobongondori in Nyakach sub-county, Yuakali, Nyuki, Railways Ward in Kisumu Central, and Angola Markets in Kisumu East sub-county. Not only were sheds constructed, but the general physical outlook for the markets was also improved by maraming and fencing. These physical infrastructural developments, Mr. Speaker, sir, have greatly improved the business environment of these markets. It has accorded the traders a habitable and dignified training environment, improved security for their wares and longer trading hours. Through the Department of Business, Trade and Cooperatives, we also completed the following markets. One, Combewa modern retail market with a capacity of 143 stalls in Central Seme, in Central Seme Ward, Seme Sub-County. Two, our sea market that was built through collaboration with the Kenya National Highways Authority with a capacity of 288 stalls. We hope to complete Papunditi modern retail market in Central Nyakach Ward, in Nyakach Sub-County, and Korowe modern retail market in this financial year, 2020-2021. Mr. Speaker, sir, one of the bumps to accelerated business growth to the small entrepreneurs is access to start-up capital or financing. To boost small traders' capital base, we issued loans totaling 8.7 million to 70 beneficiaries, evenly distributed throughout the county through the county trade fund. This is a revolving fund with a repayment period of 2 years at an interest rate of 8% on a reducing balance and a grace period of 3 months. The highest amount that can be lent to an individual is 200,000 shillings, while the lowest amount is 50,000 shillings. These amounts were arrived at after realizing that advancing low amounts to traders do not support their growth, but only derails their financial planning, leading to deeper indebtedness. This scheme has been going on hand in hand with training on skills in developing entrepreneurship and business skills for scale-up and business sustainability. So far, over 500 traders have undergone this training. And this figure, the paltry figure compared to the needs of this sector. Ms. Coletta Agut Oyenga, a businesswoman who sells bicycle spare parts in Kisumu and has an M-Pesa shop and a beneficiary of the scheme, had this to say: "This loan has changed my life. I received 100,000 shillings last year. I used the money to boost my business. I used the profits from my business to buy land where I have put up rental houses. I live in my own house, and I comfortably pay fees for my Mr. Speaker, sir, it is proven that micro and small enterprises, the bulk of trade drivers in environments such as ours, thrive in environments where cooperatives are developed. Support value addition, wealth and employment creation, and promotion of growth of cooperative societies. The government purchased and distributed 10 hatcheries to youth cooperative societies, Kondele Ward, in Kisumu Central Sub-County, to boost poultry farming and improve food security. We also purchased and distributed 80 solar kits for youth and women cooperative societies in North Seme, and 240 kits for cooperative societies members in Kondele Ward, Kisumu East Sub-County. These solar kits have boosted trading activities by extending business hours and enhancing security for traders. We also procured and issued 1 brick marking machine for Youth Cooperative Society in Nyalenda A Ward of Kisumu East Sub-County, and purchased 1 lathe machine for Youth Cooperative Society in Nyalenda A Ward to promote quality and efficiency in the quality sector. But as the famous English saying goes, more attract more. So there's still much more need to support the youth in business. Mr. Speaker, sir, a lot of businesses have folded, failed to live to the next level of altogether, relocated due to challenges experienced with the supply of energy. Our vision to attain an industrialized status, therefore, depends on a large extent on our ability to provide readily available, reliable, affordable, and sustainable energy for both domestic and industrial use. Provision of energy also impacts, to a large extent, the quality of service in other service sectors, such as markets, health facilities, and water provision. To this end, we have upscale supply, installation, and maintenance of public lighting infrastructure, high-mass floodlights, solar lights, and street lighting at market centers. Health facilities, and schools, providing solar lanterns and bioethanol vehicles to grid-inaccessible persons, training technicians on installation, operation, and maintenance of renewable energy technology, solar, biogas, bioethanol, and wind, demonstration of green energy technology, and spearheading the development of off-grid electricity within the county. But, Mr. Speaker, sir, our energy needs will only be met once we realize that the projects we are currently working on establishing solar energy production and distribution in Kisumu. Sustainable provision of energy supports the industrialization sector, which aims to promote innovation, growth, and knowledge and technology transfer in industries in the county through value addition and establishment of cottage industry. A healthy population is an important contributor to economic growth and reduction of budgetary allocation to medical intervention. The financial year 2019 saw the procurement and distribution of 23 lighting point solar lanterns to vulnerable households under Operation Nyangile Out program. This brought the total number of households benefiting from the solar lanterns under the program to 1,324 across the county. And as I will repeat, this is a journey still in progress. The Speaker, sir, under the industrialization sector, financial year 2019-2020, the establishment of Kuchieng tomato processing plant in Kobura ward was advanced by the fencing of the project land, the supply of water to the site, external lighting, and the ongoing completion of the processing plant building and the But the truth of the matter of the pudding is eating it. We look forward to the completion of this tomato processing plant this financial year. During the last financial year, the construction of Akado County Incubation and Innovation Center, which is to facilitate economic growth through job creation, was finalized. The center is to hold 3 hubs, an ICT center, a honey processing mini plant, and a block machine making workshop. We expect to open the center later this financial year. The establishment of the Kisumu Special Economic Zone, which is to lead to the transformation of the county's economic base through employment and opportunity creation, was progressed in the same period with the following: the feasibility study of the proposed Miwani site carried out by the World Bank and PricewaterhouseCoopers, and a draft report availed. A forum with Special Economic Zone Authority, Minister of Industry, Trade and Cooperatives, and County Government of Kisumu on investment opportunities in the region was also held on March 2020, and the initial 1,000 acres of land was identified and is currently undergoing demarcation for gazettement. To support the business environment, actually it's 2,000 acres, not 1,000. To support the business environment, we installed 20 high-mass floodlights spread across 12 wards of North Seme, Kaloleni, Shauri Moyo, North Nyakach, Southeast Nyakach, Southwest Nyakach, Kajulu, Kondele, Kubura, Southwest Nyalenda, West Kisumu, and West Seme. These high-mast floodlights contributed to the enhancement of energy access, increased security, and promotion of our 24-hour economy, with a net effect of increased business hours due to security at the markets, increased revenue for the county in these markets, and improved levels of household lives. Mr. Speaker, sir, roads network is so critical to movement of both goods and services and general growth of the economy. The year 2019-2020 was the most trying for our roads infrastructure, following serious flooding experienced in the county as a result of the heavy rainfall experience, particularly in the Nyando Valley, and Nyakach and Moroni. The resultant net effect left us with 99 roads across the county badly damaged and needing almost 400 million shillings to rehabilitate. However, in the face of that adversity, recorded a number of milestones under the Department of Roads and Transport with far-reaching impacts on the lives of our people. During the 2018-2019 financial year, Kisumu County Rural Roads Maintenance Bill was approved by this august House, creating room for the establishment of village road maintenance teams in every village within Kisumu County, thereby mainstreaming the spirit of devolution in our operation. As a consequence of this initiative, a pilot program for machine-based roads maintenance, which will be an integral component of the road maintenance team's agenda, has commenced. The pilot targets 350 kilometers of road for opening and maintenance and has so far covered Muroni, Nyando, Nyakach, and Kisumu West sub-counties. During the same period, Mr. Speaker, sir, several road construction projects, 55 under road maintenance levy fund and 61 under the county revenue fund were initiated. Most of these projects suffered the delays due to the heavy rains experienced from around November 2019 to May 2020. Most of those works suspended due to the unfavorable weather conditions have since resumed and expected to be completed by the end of December 2020. Despite the challenges, Mr. Speaker, sir, a number of achievements were realized. These include the recarpeting of Arena Estate Road in Kisumu Central, improvement of the 7.2 kilometers of Nyangadi Road, improvement of Okwach Makindu Bridge in Moroni Sub-County, and improvement of Chuthber Mathonye Access Road in Kisumu West Sub-County. Mr. Speaker, sir, we all appreciate the appetite of our people to encroach on public land, especially road reserves. To mitigate this, we have, as a matter of policy, introduced road edge marker posts in all our roads under construction in the county to permanently mark the road reserve boundaries. Any such further encroachments will definitely lead to legal consequences, the so-called encroachers. The success of the new machine-based strategy and roads maintenance teams depends to a large extent, Mr. Speaker, sir, on the efficiency of the Directorate of Transport and Mechanical Engineering. In the period under review, the Directorate acquired 1 motor grader and 4 motorcycles and refurbished 4 plant equipment and machines. 2 motor graders and 2 lorries, which were not in operation, were also revived by putting in new parts and servicing. All the county vehicles pre- and post-inspection are currently being done by the Directorate instead of the National Government's Regional Mechanical Engineering Office. This is saving money which was being paid for the service and reduces delay for maintenance. Mr. Speaker, sir, all the efforts from the various departments as outlined above would be futile if the county does not employ proper physical planning and the development of modern physical infrastructure. The 4-year journey to put in place a final county evaluation role, an integral document with both analytical understanding of land use planning and revenue planning, has now come to an end. We now have evaluation role. This document will greatly help the county comply with the vision of our own source revenue, self-sustenance, to fund various development projects. Mr. Speaker, sir, honorable members of this august assembly, through the Directorate of Survey, we embarked on an ambitious implantation of the densification of geodetic control networks that will tremendously enhance accuracy of survey works. Realize these are technical terms, I must drink water for them. Together with a comprehensive geographic information system, the densification of geodetic system will not only reduce overlaps and land boundary conflicts, but will help in laying high-precision utility systems like water and sewer pipeline, floodwater evacuation, drainage channels, with the latter becoming handy in responding to perennial flood disasters in the Kano Plains and other parts of the county. Through the Directorates of Physical Planning and Urban Development, we have identified 35 markets and other urban centers for planning and subsequent survey. The 2 directorates are key in enhancing symbiosis in development between the urban and rural spaces within the county. Mr. Speaker, sir, in a bid to ensure holistic development of our urban centers, we continue to partner with development partners such as UN Habitat and the World Bank for urban renewal. This urban renewal exercise will not be sustainable if we do not develop the requisite infrastructure in terms of housing and meeting the ever-growing population within our urban centers. To this end, Mr. Speaker, sir, the Directorate of Housing, which is responsible for managing county houses and facilitating investments in housing, with special emphasis on affordable housing, currently working with LAP Fund and the County Pensions Fund to redevelop a number of old municipal housing, a move that will both increase the housing stock and improve the competitiveness in pricing of housing within the county. My dream, Mr. Speaker, sir, is to deliver at least 10,000 housing units in this county by 2021, if possible. The collaboration with the national government has yielded much progress in the preparatory stages of land identification and preparation for the eventual housing projects. The county has identified 7 estates for housing renewal program. These include Makasembo, Arena, Kibuye, Lumumba, Undiek, Arwins Kodek, and Milimani. In expanding the space for private housing development, the Directorate to the World Bank-funded Kenya Informal Settlement Improvement Project, KISI, Phase 2, will be rolling out housing-relevant infrastructure projects, sewer, roads, and street lighting, etc., in Manyata, Migosi, Nyawita, and Keboswa. Honorable members, Mr. Speaker, sir. Secondly, in the gazettement and establishment of 5 new towns of Ahero, Maseno, Kombewa, Katito, and Moroni, so far 2 towns, Maseno and Ahero, have been unveiled. The launching and unveiling of the remaining 3 towns are expected to be completed by January next year. Partnership with the national government and the other partners led projects like Kenya Informal Settlement Improvement Project and Symbiocity promises to change the face of these towns in the shortest time of their implementation. The Kisumu County housing policy is also complete. The documents are awaiting legislative processes by County Assembly for adoption and use. The progressive recommendations of the document encourage participation of all sectors in housing provision. Mr. Speaker, sir, the city of Kisumu is definitely a success story of my government in achieving what is articulated in my manifesto. Taking the reins of this government, I promise not only to improve and deepen relationship with development partners, but we shall also employ bilateral and public funding and resources to the set budget lines and in a timely manner. The 2 major bilateral funding areas towards the city is proof that the above has been achieved. The project set out under Kisumu Urban Project, KUP, which is moving towards its conclusion, are all in the final stages, with most having been completed. The refurbishment of the iconic social center, which we have renamed Magreso Nyango Social Center, is now complete, and we are sitting in it today. Honorable members, you only need to look around this August House to appreciate what Mama Grace Onyango Center looks like today. By honoring this lady of many firsts, we hope that her achievements will inspire many young people and many more young girls to break the glass ceilings in various disciplines, especially in the area of talent development. Mr. Speaker, sir, the bitumen roads funded under this project, Impala Dunga Road, Nyamasaria CJ Road, and even Naselika Social Center Road have indeed changed the landscape of this beautiful city. The conclusion and approval of the Kisumu Urban Strategic Development Plan issued, funded under this project, gives the city a fully fledged physical development plan, or in other words, a master plan that will define how our beautiful city develops. The planning process has resulted in several administrative documents like Development Control Manual and zoning regulations for the city currently under development. In other words, in Luo, we say the city will not grow chabla, but will go under definite plan with zones for specific areas for specific needs, including green space for the city. As you can see in the project going on now of modernizing our parks, 8 of them in the city. The other partner-funded project, Kenya Urban Support Program, has also been implemented with pristine precision. Following the successful implementation of phase 1 of the project, we qualified and have been granted funding for phase 2, whose projects have commenced as of today. The non-motorized transport project implemented under phase 1 has greatly transformed the outlook of the central business district triangle of Oginga Odinga Street, Jomo Kenyatta Highway, and Angawa Highway, avenues for that matter. Besides providing decent walkways, the project has also given life to cheaper stalls that has provided dignified trading stall to around 800 small-scale traders who only knew streets as their home of trade, subjected to all manner of weather situations and fluctuating human bad manners. The non-motor transport project has also improved the drainage system within the CBD, thus following the perennial flooding that has in the past been witnessed whenever there is a heavy downpour. The project has also resulted in ultra-modern ablution facilities within the NMT triangle. Construction of the 700 million Rotary and Innovation Center, otherwise correctly called Sumu Business Incubation and Innovation Center, is 95% complete, not too far from this center. This facility will provide an enabling environment that fosters innovation and incubation for the youths in Kisumu that want to start up business. Mr. Speaker, sir, the 5% that is left is because of specialized electrical installation and ICT services that we need to install in collaboration with the ICT Ministry in Nairobi, and we hope this will be done soon so that the center can be opened. This center will also offer adequate and strengthened linkages between institutional learning and that for budding entrepreneurs. I am happy to report the willingness of the State Department of ICT under my friend PS Honorable Jerome Ochieng to partner with us to equip it with ICT technology and complete it. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, phase 2 of the funding will cover more streets to be improved and rehabilitation of our green spaces and parks, as well as construction of phase 1 of Kibuye Market. As you know, we just launched Kibuye Market the other day, and we hope that within a year, that phase 1 will complete, and we go to phase 2, which will see Kibuye, one of the biggest markets in Eastern and Central Africa. Mr. Speaker, sir, we all know the challenges facing Kisumu government in intermittent cash flows from the national government and shrinking on-source revenue during this pandemic. In the last financial year, we have witnessed investment in our local revenue collection system by increasing the numbers of collection tools and staff on the ground by more than 200% in each case. And my friend, Governor Wangamati, is the chairman of our finance committee of the Senate, of the Council of Governors, and knows the kind of trials and tribulations all governors have in increasing own source revenue. We acquired 300 additional point of sale, POS machines, from the 88 we had at the time, and employed 150 new revenue collectors and further 170 enforcement officers. On the expenditure side, we are focused on management of the county wage bill to sustainable levels. Beyond the staff headcount, we have launched an in-depth audit of the county's payroll. In addition, Mr. Speaker, sir, we have streamlined our budget management by formulating the county debt management policy while continuing to pay pending bills. In the last financial year, the county government paid pending bills amounting to 592 million shillings. And Mr. Speaker, sir, I'd like to warn those who go around calling themselves contractors as if they're a union. The county only contracts individuals or companies. We don't contract a collective known as contractors. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, sir, we are on record of having paid genuine pending bills and put under review doubtful pending bills, and we shall not pay until the controller of budget is satisfied that these pending bills are legitimate. We know that pending bills present great constraint to local business growth and household livelihoods. My government is doing everything possible to fast-track the payment of these bills. Under the guidance of the Auditor General as regards the eligibility and ineligibility of pending bills since 2013, I will not pass the buck to the government before us, but many of you already know that my government inherited a huge debt book, amounting on face value to 3.5 billion shillings, and when audited thoroughly by the Auditor General, it came down to 2.2 billion shillings, which included all debts owed by the former municipal councils. It is possible to wipe out pending bills, Mr. Speaker, sir, entirely if we award works contracts in time while the contractors move fast to fully accomplish projects without raising partial payment certificates unnecessarily. In fact, Mr. Speaker, sir, I have banished the payment of partial certificates from now on. To further strengthen our delivery system, we have boosted capacity of the Accounting, Monitoring and Evaluation Directorate by recruiting professionals at the leadership and technical levels in the last financial year. We will not pay for projects that have not been done to specifications and requirements, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, sir, last financial year was a defining moment for the residents of the city of Kisumu, in particular, the county and the region as a whole, as a result of the Kisumu Port Revival project. This project will have a profound economic impact on the region and the nation as a whole. Several small traders operating on the port land had to be displaced from their places of business. Mitigate the displacement of those traders, we lobbied His Excellency the President of Kenya, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, who graciously offered help in the form of Uhuru Business Park. This business park that is expected to house 10,000 small-scale traders will forever change micro and small trading landscape in Kisumu. Phase 1 is almost ready for occupation, and 4,000 traders will be accommodated with a chain of other value addition infrastructure. The market has all the segments from food courts, boutiques, grocery shops, butcheries, cafeterias, and office spaces for commercial businesses such as banks. Mr. Speaker, sir, we hope that this phase 1 will be inaugurated by the President before the end of this year. Mr. Speaker, sir, on behalf of the people of Kisumu, allow me to send a big thank you to the President for this gift to our people. He has indeed exhibited very strong enthusiasm to see the project completed in good time, including personally supervising its projects. Mr. Speaker, sir, let me speak briefly about the work of Mama Kisumu County. Mr. Speaker, not only has she been on my side offering unwavering support, as you can see, she still has created time with the same zeal for activities that continue to touch humanity in Kisumu and across the nation. 6 key areas remain central to the work of her office, namely the County First Ladies Association and other partnerships, cancer, blood, and other health concerns, early childhood development, nurturing care, youth and culture, and gender-based violence. As a member of the County First Ladies Association Steering Committee, she attended several meetings and workshops on matters of health, early childhood development, and environment. She worked closely with and supported First Lady Margaret Kenyatta's Beyond Zero medical safaris, who champions the philosophy that no woman should die giving life. Mr. Speaker, sir, honorable members, the fight against cancer remains #1 in Mama Kisumu's areas of concern. Through the County First Ladies Association's Empower program, Kisumu was privileged to be among the first 8 counties to have a thorough review of its cancer programs, which culminated in the launch of the very first Kenyan Empower Cancer Screening Clinic, a model cancer screening clinic established at Jaramogi Oginga Teaching and Referral Hospital. The Empower Cancer Screening Clinic was launched during an event graced by Mama Ida Odinga on November 18, 2019. Thank you, Mama County, for being there for me and the rest of the family, and of course for being there for the county. Mr. Speaker, sir, all the activities enumerated here are carefully coordinated for the Executive Office of the Governance and Administration. Let me take this opportunity to thank the people who labor every day in this department, coordinate and ensure that we deliver on the Tichiri agenda. Let me also take this opportunity to thank my executive, including my deputy governor, for all that they have done to make sure that the civil service, led by the county secretary, and in each department the chief officers and directors, play a key role in the transformation of this county. With support from across the county spectrum, we have continued to build networks and partnerships that continue to impact the lives of the great people of Kisumu. I'm happy to report that our continuous engagement, warm and cordial relationship with the national government has finally resulted in the approval of the construction of 25 billion Korusoin multipurpose dam, whose construction is expected to commence soon, and indeed has commenced. Just yesterday, my Minister for Water and Environment was there at the site with other neighbors from Kericho and Nandi to deal with the issue of relocation of those who are going to be affected by this dam. It is a reality. And at the moment, the government is busy looking at the tenders that have been the response to the advertised construction. The construction of Jomo Kenyatta International Stadium, which will change the sporting landscape in the region, and the upcoming establishment of special economic zone in Miwani, Mr. Speaker, sir. Some of the initiatives of the national government in this county that indeed are important in the long run in our transformation. As part of our plans to expand our linkages horizons, we formed the Kisumu Economic and Social Council to help promote dialogue in support of common goals of prosperity and economic development, the promotion of participatory democracy, efficient governance, social justice. Mr. Speaker, sir, I want to thank KECOSOC for their commitment in formulating and guiding our post-COVID-19 economic recovery agenda. Without KECOSOC, I don't think this agenda could have seen the light of the day, but it's now under implementation, especially with the project reinforcing the household economy. We recognize in a special way the role played by the County Public Service Board in ensuring that we have, in a timely manner, recruited persons of high integrity to our public service, push forward the government development plans. And indeed, if the integrity question ever comes in doubt, the same public board will make sure that such people depart the service. Mr. Speaker, sir, the collaboration relationship we have had with this honorable assembly under your leadership has contributed immensely to the gains we are celebrating today under your theme, dialogue and engagement. I thank you, Mr. Speaker. It is not lost on us that various arms of government have very definite and defined roles under the Constitution. But that same Constitution recognizes that those responsibilities must harness positive service delivery to the great people of this county under the principle of interdependence. Mr. Speaker, sir, in that regard, I would like to thank the County Commissioner and her team in promoting the spirit of intergovernmental relations in the county to ensure that since we serve the same people, we must render them service under the same commitment. I thank them. In conclusion, Mr. Speaker, sir, I want to recognize in a special way the wonderful county employees for their dedication to their work and commitment, delivering quality service to the people of this great county. Even during the most trying times, they have always come through to deliver on their mandates in all their departments. They have exhibited a sense of togetherness as we push through our transformative agenda for this county. I can't thank you more. The people of this great county, I couldn't thank you more. PSV driver driving an empty vehicle feels as empty as the vehicle he or she is driving. You have come aboard the vehicle you are driving, and it has been wonderful to be part of this journey with you. I'm so humbled and honored to be driving this vehicle. Thank you, and thank you again. Let us continue the spirit of Tichire. With Tichire, we shall indeed begin flying with the eagles and stop walking with the kitchen. God bless Kisumu, God bless Kenya. Mr. Speaker, sir, with your permission, I would now like to give an opportunity to my fellow governor, Governor Wycliffe Mbangamati, and the whole of his executive who have come down to be with us today on this very important day. Not too long ago, the First Lady of Bungoma was with us here when we were opening this social center, when the CS for Sports, Madam Dr. Amina Mohammed, was here, and she spent the whole day with us. We thank her. I was in Bungoma when Governor Mbangamati was issuing earth-shaking State of the County address, and I told him that I would revenge. Leo amerudisha mkono, ama sivyo? Kwa hivyo ningependa kuwaklika hapa ndugu wangu Bwana Wangamati. As I said in my speech, Wycliffe Wangamati is the chairman of our finance committee, and he's a very able and decisive chairman. He's one of those who can question the CA's finance to our satisfaction. And I know in the COG meetings, when it comes to matters finance, he's always at the forefront guiding us on how to deal with these matters. It is no wonder that Bungoma is one of the credit-rated counties in Kenya, together with Makueni and this county. Obviously, I will not reveal the secrets, but I will tell you that he was ahead of me in being credit-rated because of his performance in the area of financial management. I came back and I was very angry with my people in finance and told them, if you don't improve, you will ship out. So if you ship out, blame him for setting high standards. Your Excellency, can I invite you to address these august staffs?
Speaker, the County Assembly of Kisumu, the Governor, second Governor of Kisumu County, Professor Anyang' Nyong'o, the honorable members who are here, all the guests, First Lady, good afternoon. Mr. Speaker, Governor of Kisumu County. Indeed, recently, I think there was a survey, Prof, you may not know this, but I'm sure somebody somewhere must have told you that when they did the ranking on how educated governors are, the 47 governors in their country, Professor Anyang' Nyong'o came on top of the 47 governors. So I'm here to say that you have one of the greatest minds in the country. And I also want to say that he's among the few governors who are actually committed to his work as a governor. He is also a great asset for us in the Council of Governors. And I can tell you, Prof does not miss any meeting, the Council of Governors. That shows the level of commitment. And when I was just listening to him enumerate what he has done over the last 3 years, it is awesome. Thirdly, Mr. Speaker, I've been close to the governor, and every single time he has mentioned this, and I want to appreciate the honorable members of this, that the relationship between the County Assembly and the executive is one of the best in the 47 counties. I think that helps a lot in terms of implementation of projects. Fourthly, Mr. Speaker, I also want to appreciate the First Lady for the work she's doing, and also want to mention that it's very close to my wife, and the work that I've been doing in the health sector is very, very important, and I want to appreciate her and say, Mama County, continue doing what you're doing. and I'm sure the residents of Kisumu do appreciate. Fourthly, I think Professor has been here, and he has enumerated, and I'm surprised what he has done over the last over the last 1 year. The best to assess Prof is just to sort of summarize sector by sector what was done in 5 years and what Prof has done over the last 3 years. I can tell you there will be a very big difference. All sectors, the number of ECD classes, the health sector, the roads, the water projects, and I can tell you, you will see a marked difference between what was done over the last 5 years under the previous administration and what Professor has done over the 5 years. Mwisho, yesterday, Mr. Speaker, you'll allow me to say this. Yesterday, myself with Prof, I think yourself, we were in Nairobi launching the signature collection for the BBI. And Mr. Speaker, the biggest beneficiary of the BBI movement or the amendment to the 2010 Constitution is devolution. And Mr. Speaker, it is important that people appreciate. And yesterday, when they showed us where we were in 2017, the number of people who were killed in 2017 after the contested presidential presidential elections, it is important that we continuously remember why BBI was initiated. But Mr. Speaker, as I said, the biggest beneficiary, the biggest winner of BBI in this country is devolution. And Mr. Speaker, it's important that we appreciate where we have come as a country, where we have come as the devolution family in this country. Devolution started way back, not just 2010. Devolution started way back when the NAC government came to power. The NAC government started the CDF in 2003. CDF is a form of devolution. It started way back in 2003. At that time, Mr. Speaker, the amount of money that was going to constituencies across the entire country was about 2.5% of the national resources of this. At that time, Mr. Speaker, the amount of money that went to constituencies was about 1.3 billion shillings across the entire country. As we speak now, Mr. Speaker, the amount of money that is going under CDF, all constituencies, is about 43 billion shillings. And we can all agree that over the last 8 or 20 years of CDF, there has been marked improvement in terms of infrastructure development in schools, in all sectors that CDF touched. Move fast from 2003 to 2010, after the 2007 post-election violence, we came up with the 2010 Constitution that allowed the setting up of counties in this country. We then set up counties, devolved from 2.5% under devolution, we went to about 15% under the counties. The BBI proposal, or the BBI bill that has come out, is saying that now we devolve 35% of the national resources to counties. The Speaker, as a country, we are moving in the direction of developed countries. While all over, in South Africa, Prof will tell you this, that 50% of the national resources of South Africa go to regional governments. In Japan, 45% of the national resources go to regional governments. So the trend that you are seeing, where we are asking for more devolution resources to go to counties is just in line with what is happening. And I can tell you, Mr. Speaker, that a shilling spent at the county is more accountable than a shilling spent at the national level. Today we have seen so many scandals, and I can tell you, if today KEMSA, what happened in KEMSA happened in Kisumu County, I can tell you Professor will not be here today. Because a shilling spent at the national level is not as accountable as a shilling spent at the county level. So, Mr. Speaker, as governors, and I think as honorable members of this county assembly, we want to request every single person that we support the initiative of the bill that has come out. And for us in the devolution family, for us as honorable members, it is good that the Ward Development Fund has now been made mandatory and put in the Constitution so that there is no argument between the county assembly or members with the governor in implementation of the Ward Development Fund. So, Mr. Speaker, I'll leave it there and say that it's a big honor to be here, and also want to say that the great people of this region are great because when they love you 110%. When they hate you 110%. There is no middle ground. So thank you very much. I know they have, by the way, Prof, I know that. I have told you many times that the people of this region, when they love you 110%. Prior to 2017, and when I saw His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, when he made a tour here, I saw the love they showed him. But prior to 2017, it was the extreme opposite of that. Mr. Speaker, let me just, I think the members of County Assembly of Bungoma who accompanied me came in when I think you announced when they're not yet in here. Let them just I think there is, let me just break the, let them just stand. We have our former majority leader, Florence. She's an MCA of Maeni Ward in Kimilili. She was also a mayor of Kimilili town. We also have Lusenaka. That is an MCA that I vote for, Bukembe East. We have Mheshimiwa Wamsai, who is our former deputy speaker, MCA of Siboti. Then we have Evelyn. Evelyn, who is an MCA of Sirisia, Kurisiru. Then we have Joram, who is an MCA of Bukembe East. I'm also accompanied by, I think, the CEC, Water, Maheti, and our Attorney General, Cyril Wayongo, and our Deputy County Secretary. Otherwise, Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. God bless you, God bless Kisumu, and God bless this county. This country. Thank you very much.
Mr. Speaker, sir, before I hand over this State of the County address, all there's work to be done, let's do it. I'd like to thank the editorial committee of this State of the County address, chaired by Madam Yachi Alaik, and all the members stand. My communications, keep on standing, Achi. John Oyua, and Lois Aguirre, who else was there? Amigot, Nick, please. I thank you for work well done. Thank you very much. Wherever you are, those who didn't stand up. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, sir, before I forget, you reminded me, thank again and let her stand. Maybe some people don't know her. The First Lady, she's here. I thought I came with her. There she is, yes. Thank you very much. The Speaker told me that if I don't let her stand, I may be divorced this afternoon. Possible prospect I don't want to face. Mr. Speaker, sir, let me now officially state of the county address to you, the third state of the county address for debate by the Assembly. Having done that, Mr. Speaker, let me also thank my colleagues from Bungoma. One thing that Governor Ngamati did not tell you, which is something that we share. When I was in Bungoma, I was very impressed by his attention to detail, by his attention to the basic needs of the people and projects that matter where the rubber touches the ground. I'm glad that we are with him in the COG together. By the will of the people, we shall be with him again another 5 years. Do you approve of that? And I'm quite sure, Wycliffe, that when Wycliffe of Paranya moves out, we shall still have a Wycliffe in the Council of Governors. And be prepared to be that Wycliffe. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. God bless you.
Next order, Mr. Clerk.
Order number 4, favor.
Yes, Majority Leader.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, sir, pursuant to Kisumu County Assembly Standing Order number 22-4, that state that whenever the governor delivers an address, a member may, as soon as practicable thereafter, lay the address on the table of the county assembly following the reading of such address. And in that regards, Mr. Speaker, sir, allow me to lay the third annual State of Kisumu County address.
Your Excellency and honorable members, I confirm receipt of the speech by His Excellency Professor Peter Anyang' Nyong'o, Governor of Kisumu County, during the third annual State of the County address at Mama Grace Onyango Social Center. And as per our standing orders, I do commit this speech to the Committee of House Business for scheduling for discussion as appropriate. Next order.
Order number 5, notice of motion.
Yes, Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, sir, pursuant to the Kisumu County Assembly Standing Order number 25, I wish to give a notice of motion that the thanks of the County Assembly be recorded for the exposition of public policy contained in the address of the Governor. And I would wish to call Honorable Priska Misachi to second.
Yes, Honorable Priska Misachi. Thank you. Next order. Next order, Mr. Clerk.
There is no any other order.
Your Excellency and honorable members, there being no any other order, the House stands adjourned until 1st December 2020 at 2:30 p.m.